Hey explorers, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about maps and globes. A map, like the one shown here in the slide, is a representation or drawing of a place. Different kinds of maps show different features, such as countries, states, cities, and towns. Maps can also show rivers, lakes, mountains, and oceans. A map of a town or city will show streets and important places, such as municipal buildings, hospitals, schools, churches, mosques, synagogues, and shopping centers. A town or city map may also show the location of houses and apartment buildings. Maps help you to know where things are and how to get from one place to another. A road map helps you know how to travel from one place to another by showing the roads and streets you can use. Anyone can make a map to show where something is and how to get from one place to another. This is a globe, and a globe is a three-dimensional model of Earth. A globe can show land and water and geographic conventions such as longitude, latitude, and the equator. The size and shape of land masses, the distance between points, and the directions on a globe are more realistic than they are on maps. This is because the round shape of the globe is a truer representation of the shape of Earth. Maps, by their nature, flatten out the roundness of Earth and distort the size and shape of the land masses, and thus also distort distances and direction. The land near the North and South poles, which are up here and down here, usually becomes the most distorted. Globes also have another advantage over maps. They can be rotated to show the rotation of Earth and to illustrate the position of the North and South poles. Now what I'd like you to do is turn to page 4, and it should look like this slide. Today we're going to talk about finding your way around. And that doesn't literally mean finding a way around specific objects or things, but instead it has a general meaning about knowing or discovering where you are and where you're going. At the top it says maps help us understand our world. And here's somebody looking at a map here. It actually looks like maybe it's a treasure map. And this says maps help us find our way around. So it looks like this boy and girl are maybe out in the woods and they're trying to figure out maybe how to get back home. Now remember, a map is a drawing of a place. Maps can show anywhere from a very small place, such as a classroom or a city or a town, to a very large place, such as a state or a country. Now, some of you may have seen your parents using their electronic devices, such as their phone, to access their GPS, which is an electronic map in their car. And that way they can put in where they're trying to go, and it'll show them how to get there. And those are very, very helpful. These are paper maps here on this slide, but a lot of us use electronic maps as well. Now, we're going to figure out how maps help us. So I want you to look over here at the next page, page 5. It says, there are maps of different places. There are maps for all of the American states. This map is a map of California. California is way over here. So this is the United States, and it shows that there are 50 American states. So each of these, you can see this outline here. This is Texas. Way over here, this is North Carolina. We live way over here on the map of the United States. And then this right here, this state of California, that's located on the other side of the United States, way over there. If we look a little closer at the map of California, the state of California, look, you can see these lines here. These actually show highways and roads that go throughout the state of California. It also says here Pacific Ocean, which is right over here. That's talking about the ocean that's right off the coast of California. And it'll show also cities inside of the state as well. Something else I want to point out down here on the map of the United States is we see two boxes here. This right here is representing the state of Alaska, and this over here is representing the state of Hawaii. Now, the thing about these two states is they're actually kind of far away from all this part of the country. And so the only way to represent these two states is to draw them in boxes like this. Otherwise, we need a really, really much bigger piece of paper to show where they are. I'm going to kind of describe where they are. So this Alaska. This is actually located way up here. It's kind of apart from the rest of the United States, which is interesting, but Alaska is one of the states of the United States of America, and it's located up here. This one right here is Hawaii. Hawaii is actually located in the Pacific Ocean off of California, so it would be located over here. So as you can see, in order to show these guys, they actually have to be kind of squunched into this map down here at the bottom, because this Alaska's up here and Hawaii's over here, which is off of the map. All right, let's look at, so I showed you earlier that this is the state of North Carolina. So let's look at some of the states that are around the state of North Carolina. So right below us is the state of South Carolina. That's represented by the SC. S is for South and C is for Carolina. Above us, this VA stands for Virginia. So Virginia is above North Carolina. And to the left of North Carolina is this state right here. It's represented by the TN, and that abbreviation is for the state of Tennessee. And look at North Carolina. We're really lucky because we're right off the Atlantic Ocean. So when you go to the beach, probably a lot of the time it's the Atlantic Ocean beach, and you're going to be somewhere along here. The blue parts of our map, if you look all over here and all over here, what do you think the blue part is showing? Yeah, it's showing water. Look, there's even some blue up here. This is the state of Michigan. Look, it looks like a glove, doesn't it? And there's water all around it. These are called the Great Lakes. And yeah, the blue represents oceans, or bodies of water, oceans. On the right side here, it's the Atlantic Ocean, and over here on the left side, it's the Pacific Ocean. Oceans are very large bodies of water found at different places around the world. The water in oceans is called salt water because if you were to taste it, it would taste like you had put salt in the water. And I bet a lot of you, when you go to the beach, have tasted that salt. Another part to look at is sometimes maps will show really large rivers. So if you look along here, do you see this blue line coming up? That's the Mississippi River. So sometimes it'll show, if you see like blue lines, it'll show you the river. So it says the Colorado River. So there's some different rivers on here. Not a lot. We have a lot more rivers in our country than what is depicted or shown on this map. But here's just a few of them. And one of the biggest is the Mississippi River. So the map that we've looked at today has shown us a lot of things. What are some of the things that we looked at today on this map of the United States? What did it show? Hopefully you said that it showed some oceans, a couple of oceans. Anything else? It showed some rivers over here, the blue lines. It showed the 50 states inside our country, including Hawaii and Alaska, which are actually up here and over here. Yeah, our map of the United States showed a lot of information, and it's really important to be able to read a map because then you can see where you are. Like right now, we're all in North Carolina, and maybe you can think of some places that you'd like to visit in the future. All right, talk to you tomorrow.